Alright, real quick, let's talk about atheism because someone who didn't even give their opinion on their own topic wants me to talk about mine. Well, fine. I think that all of you brought up good points, and I think that all of the points that you brought up are probably contributing at least a little bit to the decline in religion. But my idea when I first brought it up was that the focal point was around the improved lives of the people. When I think about this question, my brain immediately goes to what was religion used for when it was more popular and what are people using religion for now. I see the rise in atheism as a somewhat inevitable struggle as technology gets better, lives become easier, and there becomes a less clear incentive to practice religion. To be clear, I don't think that this is a healthy relationship with God, but a lot of people use religion to ask that their lives be not that hard or because they're afraid of going to hell. Religion was necessary for these people when half of the children in their tribe were dying because they needed to believe that there was some reason that their children are dying. Like the children or the parents were misbehaving or there was some higher plan for them. If it's just some random occurrence, then it's much, much more tragic. As life becomes easier for us, the incentives of following religion become less prevalent and God is seen as a relic from the past. That's just my opinion. I have done zero research on that. I have more thoughts, but I want to move on to Probe's question about the allocation of resources, which... yes, this is a huge problem. Poverty is a huge problem. The way we think of poverty in this country is a huge problem. It's likely to get worse in the next few years because of overpopulation. That's a huge problem. There's a lot of huge problems, but let's not be remiss to think that this problem isn't getting better, at least at the moment. The percentage of people living in absolute poverty is at the lowest it's ever been. Less children are dying. The percentage of children who are going to school is at the highest it's ever been. The question was about personal engagement, but it's also important to look at the general statistics and not be so depressed. The reason I haven't given to charity in a few years is because I'm viewing my payments as a sort of investment into my future, as a way to get myself to the point where I can pay more money on these issues. I, after all, have student loans to pay. And yes, it's kind of weird to think that I need vinyl records or books to read for pleasure to be able to get to that point. And maybe you don't, but I've grown up with a certain amount of luxury, and after you've grown up with luxury, it's hard to get back to the point where you don't have those luxuries anymore. That being said, I still save most of my money, and assuming that I don't need it for some emergency or I don't become a massive materialist in the next few years, then it'll grow into some charity's pocket at the end. I try to limit my pleasure spending to about $100 a month. That includes Ubers, that includes eating out, that includes movies and streaming services and vinyl records. Even though I'm capable of spending more or less than that, I find that that number usually gives me enough enjoyment. However, I still try to actively not see that number as over $1,000 a year in unnecessary happiness. Another issue I have is that it's hard to know exactly what to give to. I always want to maximize the amount of good I do when I give to charity, so like, hold on, I have a script. Do I help the people of this country? No, because just living in America, you have a certain level of privilege that other people don't have. Do I donate clothing and goods to in-need countries? No, because like you said, Probes, that would then make the businesses in their country obsolete and hurt their economy. So I should donate to small business people in their country. But you can't do that through a charity because then they take a percentage of your money, so you need to give directly to the people themselves, and only give a little bit to make sure that they're incentivized to make a good business. Like through Kiva.org. Yeah, that's where I should donate to. But are you even going about this right? Because it's still pretty short term. Global warming is going to kill off half the population in the world, so yeah, I should probably donate to help stop global warming. It's not small scale. But it is going to take a long time to see benefits, and global warming is probably going to happen anyways. But if you don't try to stop it, then we're just giving up. So let me do some research on global warming to find the best way to stop it and minimize my impact. Okay, if I get a Tesla, that'll make me feel less about my impact, except no, you're talking small scale again, and that's just something that I want. And also, buying a new Tesla when you already have a working car can actually be worse for the environment than actually just continuing to use your old car. And also, I can't afford a Tesla. So what's the best way to stop global warming? Well, of the renewable energy sources, we can see that wind power is the most economically viable source at the moment, but solar can be marketed for individual use. We just need to do some more research to make it more efficient, and people will buy it for themselves, so they can save money for their energy, and that's usually where I give up.